giving Chase Wynn. Going back, looking up. That ball is gone. A grand slam for Shane Spencer. Oh, is he hotter than hot. And the Yankees lead 5-2.
I don't want to go on.
Okay. Now, these people really like you, Mike. We encourage them to cheer louder for Warner than you, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that woman that Bernie talked to.
We did not. We had no input in her comments.
We'll have her killed.
If you had that woman and a lover who was not related to her, you lost. A rookie helps the Yanks set a record. Good morning. Warner Wolf with sports. Fordham grad Michael Kay, the call, WABC. The sportscast sponsored by Subaru and by the Hackensack University Medical Center. Yanks defeat the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5-2, win number 111. A new Yankee record, surpassing the previous mark set by the 27 Yankees. And if the Yanks win tonight, they would set another new Yankee record, surpassing the previous mark set by the 1998 Yankees. The losing pitcher was Wilson Alvarez, who took the loss well.
I've said it 100 times. If you're going to beat me, beat me. But if I beat myself, that's when I get in trouble. And I didn't beat myself, they beat me.
Somebody please beat him.
Like David Cohn, apparently. Whatever.
Red Sox in the postseason, they clinched the wild card with a win over the Orioles last night, and that pleased first baseman Mo Vaughn.
We knew Toronto wasn't playing tonight, you know, and we wanted to go out there and win the wild card with a win, you know. And we had an opportunity 4 games, you know, to win 1 game and to jump out there and get it first and win the game is what we wanted to do.
A translation of Vaughn's comments will be available coming up in the next 10 minutes. In St. Louis last night, Mike McGuire, no home runs, still has 65 as the Cardinals beat the Expos. Sammy Sousser did not play last night. He's in Houston against the Astros, still has 65. The question is, who will win the home run title, McGuire or Sousser? I say neither. Call me mad, but the winner of the home run title will be Ken Griffey Jr. Griffey Jr. currently with 55 home runs, but the Mariners face the Rangers this weekend, a Ranger pitching staff that frequently gives up the long ball, and I predict Griffey will hit 12 home runs this weekend and finish with 67, 1 ahead of both McGuire and Sousser.
I would be 2 ahead of McGuire and Sousser.
Well, they're each going to hit 1 during the course of the weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, good.
I've had this figured out.
Okay. Does Griffey have 55?
Yes.
Okay.
He was asked if he could do it.
You never know.
You heard it here first.
Beginning to see why people like Warner Wold.
Oh. And that's sports. This is Mike Breen saying, so long, everybody!
17 to the hour here on the Imus Run program. Did you do any news at all? You didn't do any news. Oh, just news.
Well, just the latest on...
Rights.
Yeah.
Let me get a cigarette.
No.
That will be fine.
It will be fine.
And I will take that, please.
Where's my cheese doodles at?
Have you picked your Final Four yet, Warner?
I never pick a Final Four.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll give you 3 reasons.
All right, here we go.
Number 1, I graduated from American University. They're never going to be in there.
Okay.
So I have no team to root for. Number 2, I don't bet on the games.
Right.
And number 3, I don't have any relatives going to any of the schools.
Oh, okay.
I don't care who wins.
Oh, okay.
Right, Warner. It makes no difference to me. Get the games over with. I hate them.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
And what's worse, we have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning before we do the news.
Oh, okay.
Because CBS is televising the games. Who's watching the news at 1 o'clock in the morning? Nobody.
Nobody's watching at 11 either, Warner. By the way.
Hello.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Some guy last night, unfortunately I can't remember his name, but I don't know if he ever gave it or not. But unlike the I-Man, who gives his name about every 2 minutes.
Chip Spalding talking sports.
850 The Buzz. So anyway, they did as well. Thank you all very much.
Are you big, just like a woman? Yes, do you make love just like a woman? Yes, you do, then you ain't just like a woman. But you break just like a little girl.
Imus in the morning.
Janet Franket is
XL9.
Copyright 1998, CBS Radio. All rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment. And my boyfriend.
This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule, an indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled the station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume Monday morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
This is the 50,000-watt clear channel voice of the Mets, Jets, Knicks, Rangers, and St. John, the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. This is Rich Ackerman.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, that lamb was sure to go. And you could hear that singing, la la, la la, la 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 la. Imus in the morning. Imus in the morning.
Hi, it is Bob singing about the fat lion weasel in the White House. Bubba Tremanian loves sick blues.
President has been a tip for being so prurient. Sure set a precedent to be in this predicament. Memory is blurry, but he don't look worried. Gonna put the onus on for better curry. Look out, Bill, they putting you through the mill. Paul has got a new nose, Emperor's got new clothes, smelling like a rose in the grand jury videos. But the man in the cowboy hat on my morning radio says you don't need a weather vane to know which way the wind blows. Monica Lewinsky, what up, Badinsky? Story blew up like mail from Ted Kaczynski. Blame it all on Ken Starr, say he went too far, but you was the one who got freaky with the cigar. Look out, Bill's high price for a cheap thrill. Then you face the nation, confront the allegations with the legal definition of sexual relations. Say it doesn't count if it's just oral stimulation. Abdication situation, what you need is a castration. You won't get any sympathy, acting like a Pharisee, saying this is all just a right-wing conspiracy. Taking off the brassiere didn't help your career, neither did the smear on the dress that wouldn't disappear. Look out, Bill, you losing friends on the heel, down to the nitty-gritty. She said you touched her titty, you know she sucks, but suck it up. Don't succumb to self-pity, and start sucking up to that House Judiciary Committee. That you passed her off to Vernon, landed trip, sanctimony, led to her acrimony, testimony, Monica going down in your baloney pony. Look out, Bill, they moving in for the kill. Drag you on the house floor, slap you in the sand shawl, probably the worst that you'll ever have to endure. Cause there's one thing of which you can be pretty cocksure. Nobody wants a year and a half of that idiot Al Gore.
Talking with Frank Russ from the New York Times. So what do you think about all this?
Well, you know, the most interesting thing I've heard, had an observation about the grand jury testimony, and he said, you know, the way the country has reacted to this, having the President of the United States go on national television and talk about his penis for 4 hours may have been the punishment in some way in the psychological grasp of Americans. That doesn't mean it's over. I mean, we have a delightful prospect of watching both Henry Hyde and Barney Frank debate what oral sex is on national television.
If your radio like sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Of course, we have the Imus American Book Awards coming up here, and in which one author is going to receive $100,000 first prize. And I just would point out to you, Mr. Rich, you're eligible. talk.
Maybe I'm going to go and just put in a review of Rob Bartlett's show before they go to press.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
The following message is paid.
You know, I was telling him the other day, he's a sports talk show host, but I said, because he comes back to the office and we talk politics and all kinds of stuff, and he knows a little about everything. Mm-hmm. He'd make a great talk show host. Mm-hmm. He could do anything he wanted to do. Yeah. But certainly one of the best sports talk show hosts, if not the best in the country, my friend Mike Francesa. Good morning, Mr. Francesa.
Good morning, Don. Have those blisters healed yet after those 200 300 golf balls you've been hitting every day?
I want one mulligan off the tee.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, Don. There's no mulligans today, pal.
No. Here's
the up and hit it straight, and if I hit it in the woods, tough luck on me, which I probably will anyway. But you know what, Don? This is it. No mulligans today.
No. You and Russo and Breen play golf all the time. I don't play golf.
Don,
I play one hole a year.
Twice this year, and I played terribly. I haven't hit a ball in 2 months. I'm fat and out of shape. No mulligans.
Please let me have one mulligan.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
And I hope, Don, more than anything in the world, you show up today with that little scarf on and that Yankee hat, and you dribble it 3 feet over the tee.
Believe me, that's very likely to happen.
And then I want to put the microphone and say, Don, what are you looking for here on your second shot?
Mike Francesa and Chris Mad Dog Russo were going to play against me and Breen out of Fuller's Elbow for the Stephen A. Cox charity and AT&T situation, raising money for Stephen A. Cox and tomorrow's Children's Fund, the CJA Foundation for SIDS, of which we have raised millions of dollars for, and why I would have to go humiliate myself, I don't know. So I got a call from Cadillac or the agency or somebody, and they were whining. What? Because we don't put Boomer Esiason on earlier in the morning, and I didn't even bother to try to explain to them that the ratings across the country between 7 and 8 and 8 and 9 are pretty much the same.
Absolutely. Appreciably.
Yes. And the only reason we don't is because Boomer doesn't want to get up.
Yeah.
So here he is now, Boomer Esiason.
So you're blaming it on me now, Hyman.
Didn't you say?
No, I didn't say anything. All I said was that I have sometimes I'll have a Good Morning America responsibility, which is usually around, around 7:50 or so. I said I can do it between 7 and 7:30.
So
I think what's happening here is that there's a conspiracy going on.
Why?
Because of the whole CBS ABC thing. That's what I think you're acquiescing to the powers that be over at CBS.
That's just not. Have you?
It's amazing to me that you would even stoop that low to be like this. That's what I think is happening.
Who would win in a bare-knuckle bar fight is a poll being conducted by MSNBC. Between Boomer Esiason, Howie Long, and Terry Bradshaw, you have garnered 4% of the vote. Howie has amassed 74% of the vote, and the muttonhead Terry Bradshaw's 21%. So
are you kidding me?
No.
Well, you know what? That's all wrong. That's unbelievable. I can't. I just. Where is that coming from? Who's doing this poll now?
MSNBC.
Who are they?
That's a very good question. So how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Well.
Do you have a good weekend?
No.
Yeah,
actually I did, yeah. Because I played with my kid all weekend. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. You have the stamina and energy for that?
Barely. The kid has a father and grandfather rolled into one, so.
Well, that's great.
Now, the Monday night game tonight, Boomer, nobody's going to watch. You realize that?
Why is that? Because of the Giants and the Cubs?
Yeah.
Who cares about those two teams? They're not going anywhere past tonight.
Yeah, but it's got Sammy Sosa. He could hit 4 home runs tonight. And
I don't think he's going to hit 4 home runs. But, hey, we have the incomparable Barry Sanders tonight, man. One of the greatest football players of all time, if not the greatest running back of all time.
Don't disgrace yourself, Boomer.
Oh, are you kidding me? Come on.
Don't disgrace yourself by appearing on
I'm a football guy. I went over this with Lupica the other night. He's got this melancholy idea about the beauty of baseball and how great it is. And certainly it's been an exciting year. Don't get me wrong. But, football is a game of passion. You know what I'm saying? You have to be passionate about playing it, man.
But don't reduce yourself and demean yourself by appearing on the program and actually promoting Monday Night Football.
What am I supposed to be doing here?
Well, act like you don't care.
They had to pay me to come on this program.
Act like you don't care, you know.
Oh, I do care, though. I mean, like I said, football, you have to be passionate about it, I mean. You can't go into a football game, thinking that, don't worry about it, I got another game tomorrow. I got 162 games in a season. I mean, this is not about that. I mean, every game is so significant and important that it takes it takes an emotional guy to play it and emotional people to watch it.
Did Elway play yesterday?
No, he didn't.
He didn't, but they won anyway.
Oh, they played Washington, who I don't know what is going on down there.
Is Norv in trouble, or we don't know?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you never like to see anybody be in trouble, but certainly they've spent a lot of money down there on that football team, and it's not responding to it the way they thought it was going to be.
I was talking to Dan Jenkins earlier this morning, the sports writer, a guy who wrote one of the all-time funny football books ever, Semi-Tough. Did you ever read that?
Yes, I've read that, yes. Actually, it is a pretty good book.
He's got a new one.
Probably third on the list now, though.
Pardon me?
It's probably third on the list.
behind you.
Behind Toss and then North Dallas 40.
North Dallas 40. Peter Gent was a very good book as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, I was talking about Carmen Policy, who used to be the general manager of the 49ers. Now
he's owner, and he's the president of the new Cleveland Brown franchise.
And who's likely to be? So does that mean then we could look for George Seifert to be the coach there?
Well, I mean, that's what everybody's saying. I don't necessarily know that George wants to do that, though. I mean, George is enjoying his TV gig over there at CBS, and also he loves fishing and vacationing with his family. I don't necessarily know that he wants to get back into the hornet's nest that is the NFL.
Man, that is a dreadful pregame show. Have you seen that? George Seifert, Marcus Allen, Jim Nance, and I don't know who else here.
I'm usually traveling on Sunday, so I haven't had a chance to see it. So it's going to take a while for everybody to work the kinks out. Come on.
Oh man, it's painful.
Oh, you are going to be getting a call from.
I'm not going to get a call from anybody.
No,
I'm not going to get. I make calls. I don't take calls. I'm not going to be getting a call from anybody.
You are the I-man. I forgot.
So Detroit. Now, who do they play tonight?
They play Tampa Bay tonight, and it's going to be interesting tonight because...
Oh, God. Nobody wants this. What are you, nuts?
A high school game.
Tampa Bay?
Back off. Will you please just take a breath and let me finish?
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
I apologize.
No wonder why everybody calls you the I-man. I first. That's what I do. I do everything first. No,
you're trying to make something out of Tampa Bay and Detroit? Get out of here.
This is a big game tonight, guys.
What are you, nuts? Nice try, Boomer.
It is, man. Barry Sanders. Come on.
Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders at 55 years old. Nobody cares about what.
Oh, you're unbelievable. You have no idea. And this from a guy who wears a hanky around his neck.
All right, Boomer, thank you very much.
I love you, man. You're the best.
Boomer Esiason here on the Imus One. Well, very good. But I mean, God almighty.
Tampa
Bay. Detroit. Get out of here. All right, let me talk to you now about Mohegan Sun. Good morning, C.
Good morning. And a news-filled morning it be, too, Amos.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Do you follow the news over the weekend? When you ain't playing golf or terrorizing people on the remotes?
Mm-hmm.
All the free time I have now, since I've been de-attorneyized by the white domino system of jurisprudence, allow me the luxury of paying close attention to what be happening. Now, allow me to bring you all up to fate.
Okay.
First off, it's starting to look like the president, Willie George Jefferson Clinton, may be trying to settle the lawsuit with Paula Jones.
I understand that.
Now, let me ask you something, Amos. Don't you think Paula Jones be kind of like a reverse Pinocchio? The more the president lied, the smaller her nose got? Kind of like a negative nasal Viagra deal. I kind of hope she do settle so she can collect that money, buy herself an Airstream mobile home, move into Bourbon Acres Trailer Park, and start phoning in them family dispute complaints to the police. That woman will be beginning to scare me, Amos.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wait for the day she show up at some press conference with a face as flat as Clinton's personal book of ethics. Speaking of that, you notice how past presidents sometimes write book?
Yeah.
Like Kennedy Profiles in Courage and stuff like that?
Sure.
What the hell would Clinton call his book? the White House, a great place to meet chicks.
Well,
I got to go now, not a moment too soon.
I would have gone a couple lines up before that,
Well,
frankly.
let's
But
see one line ago.
I understand you're working on a big case.
I'm working on a big negotiation, Amos.
Oh, a negotiation this
Yeah, we're
time.
buying up all the Salman Rushdie silhouette targets from the Armenians and selling them to the Algerians.
Love me tender, love me sweet. Now complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true. All my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always
The next.
Your name is DeMarge.
Be an inspirational thing.
Disasters that could each end up destroying their own part of the South. But I'm a firm believer in the adage, the South will rise again. Unfortunately, I also believe that it goes for its favorite presidential prodigal son as well. Ah, Dixie, a land where the men are men, and so are some of the women. A place of sweet tea, sour mash, and a thing called grits. A place where pork is considered its own food group. Yet when it comes to matters of adultery, eatin' ain't cheatin'. So it's not surprising that Bubba employed that particular philosophy in the Monica Lewinsky matter. However, what is curious is that usually, to get a Southerner to eat anything, you have to fry it first. But whether the president technically porked Ms. Lewinsky or not, the fact remains he lied. And as bizarre as it may seem, I don't blame him for doing so. I mean, would you admit to having sex with that pig?
Russ.
That's the kind of woman you go home with after your alcohol level surpasses both the lateness of the hour and your set of standards. And then the next morning, as she sleeps in your arms, you actually consider chewing off one of your own limbs rather than wake her up. About the only thing that could possibly be worse would be if he were to have sex with Linda Tripp. And I do mean thing. Believe me, it's no coincidence that she was the one wearing the wire. The FBI was sure the microphone wouldn't be discovered because there was never any danger of anyone taking off her blouse. But alas, when all is said and done, there will be no impeachment. Because although he may have put some South in her mouth, he never put words in it. And the presidential legacy that he has been so concerned with for most of his administration will go down in the history books as the one in which the intern went down on him. The man who put the dick in Dixie. More after this.
Bring it.
Low slick with it, baby.
Getting jiggy with it.
Getting jiggy with it. Raise the roof, y'all.
Way back when I was governor of Arkansas, had a little love nest of the Excelsior. State troopers would bring the fresh meat to me, just like there was a pizza delivery. There was one who really turned up my thermostat. Thought I'd treat her like groceries in Baghdad. She was margarine who thought she was a higher price bread. Didn't bag her though she could have used a bag for her head. But for a while I got down with Miss America, and I defiled her crown because I was boning her. With a swimsuit, heels, and libido, she won the talent competition in my limo. And the nightclub singer with the fine-looking tush used to plant my seed in that flower's bush. I actually made her think that we'd walk down the aisle. Just one of the little tricks of the Slick Willie style. Maybe because I'm president, all my wiener's just a little bit bent. But you can call me Tricky Dick, the way I have to beat the babes off with a stick. Choke up another notch as I put another lady's hand on my crotch. And cover up the whole thing with denial. That's what I call Slick Willie's hot tamale named Dolly. Taught the golden rule, getting jolly on her back way back in high school. Used to like to study her biology. She got high marks in everything but chastity. Went cruising with Susan when she was still cute. Now she choosing to cruise in an orange jumpsuit. A Jones for my jammy and what I deliver. But before she give me up, she'd rather go up the river. The Slick Willie style make the ladies all swoon. I just don't know why Hillary is immune. Cause even a widow will forget me not. Hubby wasn't cold for I got the girl hot in the Oval Office for a midday grope. Grabbed her on the butt, tried to help the girl cope. Made her forget her troubles for a while. Working up a sweat with my Slick Willie style. Maybe cause I'm president, all my wiener's just a little bit bent. But you can call me tricky dick. The way I have to beat the babes off with a stick. Chuck up another notch as I put another lady's hand on my crotch. Cover up the whole thing with denial. That's what I call Slick Willie style. Intern's first day when she walked through the door. Didn't remember ever coming across her face before. I had no Viagra aphrodisiac, but I was packing more wood than a lumberjack. Asked what it would take for her to go with me, and she said she loved music and poetry. So I read her a Shakespeare sonnet while she took out my saxophone and put her lips on it. She was just a little older than a juvenile, but turned the girl into a woman with my Slick Willie style. Maybe 'cause I'm president, or my weed is just a little bit bent, but you could call me tricky dick. The way I have to beat the babes off with a stick. Chuck up another notch as I put another lady's hand on my crotch. Cover up the whole thing with denial. That's what I call Slick Willie style.
We're talking with Howie Long from Fox Sports, in which, of course, the I'm Missing Morning program is part of CBS Radio. You know what's really interesting about Monday Night Football now? Because Boomer's on with us every Monday.
Right.
Which also irritates CBS Sports because it's ABC Sports.
Oh, yeah.
Is the animosity that exists between Boomer and Dan Dierdorf, who already, one game in, hate each other.
Well, I didn't know Dan was still in the booth.
Well, yeah, because...
No, because I listened to the game Monday night. All I heard was Boomer. Tell Boomer I said it's a three-man booth. I know it was hard for him to learn how to count in Maryland.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
And now live from Santa Fe, New Mexico, my brother Fred Imus. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning.
So it's your position, if it's not a Cuban cigar, it's okay?
Yeah, because we can't import those, you know.
We know that, Fred. We understand the joke, but...
You do? Yeah. Wonder if Valentine's Day people will be sending cigars as opposed to roses.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Every day you're bombarded with ads for improve this and better than ever that. You hear so many claims they begin to mean nothing.
In your shorts, 2020 sports. 2-2. Back to Carter, the pitch. A little pop fly toward Mark Grace. He's waiting. He's got it. The Cubs are in the playoffs. The Cubs win. The Cubs win. The Cubs win. The Cubs win.
Get out.
Shut up.
Jesus, who cares?
A little more creative.
Yeah, you moron.
What's he supposed to say? The Cubs lose?
Well, no, the Cubs win. Let's move on.
Figure something out.
Yeah, come up with anything.
Cubs victorious in the wild card game. Pat used to call WGN. They eliminate the Giants 5-3 at Wrigley. Now face the Braves. Sammy Sosa very happy to celebrate.
It took me 7 years to open the champagne.
Sammy also loving the Windy City.
We got it tonight, especially here in Chicago. It's a beautiful city.
Finally, Sammy happy for those in the seats at Wrigley.
You people decide if I'm MVP, yes or no.
Smiling Sammy Sosa.
Here now on MSNBC and on the radio around the country, Laura Ingham. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Have you ever played golf?
No, but when I was watching that video of you swinging the golf club, I thought I was seeing something from Cocoon. You have a girl swing.
Oh. You know,
it looks a little like Yanni or something, or Sigfield and Roy playing golf.
I took a 7 on the hole yesterday, and Breen and I won. Case closed. I'm making every high swing. I have a great golf swing, don't I, Charles?
The natural.
You know, here we are. We're putting you on a program to try to promote your hideous show on MSNBC, and the first thing you do is attack me. You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I would be concerned about.
Yes, sir.
Is Keith Olbermann is going to go do baseball.
He is?
Yeah, for a while.
Oh,
And guess who they selected to fill in on the big show? Well, not you. Pat O'Brien.
I'm not liberal enough.
Anyway, who's coming up on your hideous program today?
We're talking to Congresswoman Linda Smith. She's involved in a real cat fight with Senator Patty Murray out in Washington State. So we're going to find out why she has gotten Newt Gingrich all upset on Capitol Hill. She was one of the people who actually opposed Newt Gingrich's re-election as Speaker. So we're going to find out a little bit about that. And your friend, Howard Fineman's going to tell us why America is sick of this scandal. So we're going to talk to Howard. And then at the end of the show, we're going to talk about whether or not Bill Clinton is a good tipper. We're going to talk with one of the fellows in Washington who owns the favorite restaurant of Bill Clinton, which is called the Bombay Club. So we're going to talk to him.
Hey, how about what he said about his wife yesterday when some Palestinian reporter asked him about her position on the Palestinian state deal? You aware of that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, great. It might Might be important to maybe read a couple of newspapers.
No.
That's a tip for you.
Wait a second. I want to talk to you about Barbara Streisand. Did you see the letter she wrote to the House Democrats?
No.
Okay, well, the woman who, starred in Funny Girl in The Mirror Has Two Faces says, "We can't let them keep a majority in Congress. We must get people out to vote!" ! Don't let the Republicans use the president's sex life to distract people's thinking away from the issues that will directly affect their lives. Stand up for the wonderful accomplishments that you and this president have achieved. So Hollywood, the big guns of Hollywood are coming out for Bill, and she's canvassing Capitol Hill now for him.
You have 11 minutes to check out the morning newspaper so you have some vague idea what the hell's going on here. Laura Ingraham coming up on MSNBC at 9 o'clock. Well, she's clueless. We're trying to help her.
That'll teach you to attack the Iron Man.
Yeah. Don't watch it. What would be the point of attacking me? We're trying to help her.
Maybe she thinks it's funny.
It's not funny. It's very hurtful. It hurts the I-man's feelings, particularly when I have a great golf swing, don't I, Breen?
Yes.
And we won.
And we won. Excellent golf swing.
Super.
You're the man.
A natural, I think it's been described. I have a natural golf swing.
I'll bet you have a great baseball swing, too, Mr. Imus.
Mike Breen continues.
At Wrigley Field last night in the game, Michael Jordan threw out the first pitch. Not only threw out the pitch, but caught it as well. Didn't want anyone else to touch the ball. But while the Cubs celebrated, the Giants watched silently. Here's their manager, Dusty Baker.
They did a heck of a job. I mean, everybody contributed. Everybody did.
This going to be for the rest of the cast?
Well, no, but
I won't bother even queuing.
Well, no, it's fine, but I mean, we didn't do a wonderful job, but we lost. I mean, I just don't understand that.
Including Barry Bonds, 0 for 4, up with the bases loaded twice, but failed to deliver.
Yeah.
Other games, Red Sox play the Indians in Cleveland today. Boston does not have the postseason experience that the Cleveland Indians have, but Red Sox manager Jimmy Williams doesn't care.
You got to go through it sometime. You got to be good to have the opportunity to go through it sometime. So might as well be a 98. You know, I don't really worry about those guys at all. You know, it's a baseball game.
Guess so. Like to have him lead you in a battle.
He's really intimidating.
107 start for that game. Then at 4:07, Padres and Astros in Houston. Then at 8:07, Rangers and Yankees in the Bronx. 3 games today. Monday Night Football, Lions crushed the Bucks 27-6. And in golf, for the second time in as many days, a former drunk gets back on the golf course. John Daly will play in his first tournament since last month when he suffered the chills and shakes on the course. He was even crying. Daly will play in the Tour Challenge Championships, and we wish him all the luck in the world.
All of McCall deal, huh? Of course. Well, we crushed Fatso and Fruit Loops yesterday, and I was just happy about beating Francesa because I like Francesa. Well, I don't dislike Russo, but Russo really wanted to win badly, didn't he?
He was giggling when I hooked my tee shot.
Oh, yeah, they just thought they were so happy when you put that tee shot in the tree. But a nice recovery, Mike.
Why, thank you, partner.
And Mike managed to take a 7 eventually on a hole, but the tee shot, no, it was ugly. Right? How did that happen? Because you were hitting them great off the practice tee. You were nervous, weren't you?
I was nervous.
Yeah,
so. Absolutely.
But you've got to be able to focus in these situations, which is the reason. I was hitting them horrible off the practice tee. But
under pressure.
When the pressure was on, why?
I was rattled by
it in the middle of the fairway.
I realized that.
Okay, well,
Mr. Mulligan.
Yeah.
I was rattled by.
I put them both, by the way.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Of course, I absolutely did. Even the mulligan I took, which was barely off the fairway, 10 yards from the other. First of all, I had to make the shots, didn't I?
Wait a minute.
You can't stand it because we got the same score,
and
I never played golf.
Second.
You can't stand it. Can you? You can't stand it.
That's not fair. Stupid Bob Dylan for crying out loud. I want my say. Stop it, Lou.
See like me or be like me.
Ridiculous.
All I really want to do is, baby, be friends with you.
Imus in the morning.
It's time to experience
morning radio icon. Now, time does not permit me to detail the incredible array of offenses that have led me to this step. The story is contained in the full McCord-McGurk-Ruffino report, which is now posted on a website, www.selfabsorbedaccordionnetgeezer.com.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
One time, an intern procured for Mr. Imus a breakfast of fruit, coffee, bagel, and a container of yogurt. Upon discovering that the yogurt was not the flavor he had requested, Mr. Imus hurled the container directly at the intern. Now, Mr. Imus has denied this allegation, but the intern saved the dress she had been wearing. And laboratory analysis reveals, indeed, a yogurt stain on the dress.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Rent a movie. Bring back.
Here, we're calling Jews at home, see if we can get them to answer the phone and trick them. They're supposed to. They're supposed to have eaten before sundown yesterday,
Your
right?
call cannot be completed as dialed.
Uh-oh. Idiot. And then they fast for 24 hours.
Yep.
And I mean fast. I mean nothing.
Yeah.
And then, and they're supposed to reflect on,
Sure.
all the hideous things they've done to the Goyim all year.
Precisely.
And asked, pledged to do better and that sort of thing. And we already got Warner, tricked him, found him with a hullet to Howard Johnson. That's easy.
Hello?
Hi, is Russ around?
Yeah, hold on.
No, this is really...
Don't sound too happy to hear from the Army.
Pardon me?
Well, we're getting ready to go to Temple.
Well, why'd you answer the phone?
Well, in case it's an emergency, only someone who'd be calling you at an emergency would be calling us on this sacred day. But hold on.
In other words, some idiot on the radio wouldn't be calling, right?
Like you yut.
Wait a minute.
That's your wife?
Yeah.
She didn't sound that happy to hear from the I-Man.
Wait, your wife is not happy to hear from me.
You people are not supposed to be answering the phone, are you?
Well, God forbid there's an emergency. But you know what? If
That's
it was
not
an
an
emergency, like you were in a bus crash, it would be worth answering the phone.
I don't think this is right, is it?
No, we're not buying that.
We're not buying this.
We even get the right number.
Of course, your wife had a good point. Only a creep would call anyway, right?
Since I'm going to Temple now, of course, it's the Day of Atonement, and, I can be forgiven for my sins.
Right.
Let me bid farewell by saying, die in a fire.
Russ Salzberg. A Jack Jew here on the Imus in the Morning program.
Imus in the Morning. 2020 Sports.
Two-ball, no strike pitch on the way. Here's Johnson's delivery. There's a high drive left field. How far? To the wall. That ball's got the distance. It's on its way, and that ball is out of here. 2-0 San Diego.
San Diego silences the Houston crowd. Good morning, Mike Breen with sports. Jerry Coleman the call, KFMB Radio. Game 1 NL Divisional Series. Padres defeat the Astros and Randy Johnson 2-1. Kevin Brown of the Padres was magnificent. Struck out 16. His teammate Tony Gwynn was proud of him.
He was unbelievable today, and just as determined as I've ever seen him, And he's pitched great for us all year long, but today, I think he really stepped it up and really took charge and let guys know, this is the kind of, this is how focused you're going to have to be in order to get the job done.
A raucous Padre clubhouse. Who's favored to win that series?
Well, I would say the Astros. Home field advantage, Randy Johnson, but you beat the big unit game 1. Momentum, big-time shift.
Right. Yeah. The Padres are not a good team, one.
A very good team.
Oh, they are.
Excellent team.
You got the Gwynn man.
Are they a better team than Houston?
I think they're about equal.
On the same par.
No. Shut up, Bernard, you idiot.
Meanwhile, Astros star Craig Biggio said Brown was just too tough.
And he did his job. He held him to 2 runs, and, we just didn't, offensively, we just didn't get the job done. We had some chances, but once again, the guy had 16 punch-outs, so you got to give the guys some credit, and just one of those days.
It was just one of those days. Losing pitcher, as mentioned, was the big unit. Randy Johnson, who lost his 4th straight.
Listen to little Kinky Friedman there in the clubhouse, huh?
Yeah, big fans down here.
Can't slip anything past the eye, man.
Randy Johnson lost his 4th straight postseason game.
Whether I pitch a good game and lose or a bad game and lose, it doesn't make me feel any better that I pitched a good game and lost.
Padres and Astros are off today.
Might want to cut back on the uppers there.
Last night, Yankees stopped the Rangers 2-0. David Wells and Mariano Rivera combining on a 5-hit shutout in the Bronx. Wells just wants to be out there.
I want to be the hero, and I want to be the GOAT. I want to be the guy to for them to blame if I get my butt kicked?
Doesn't care as long as he's pitching. That's our man, David Wells.
Okay.
And the Red Sox won, whacked the Indians in Cleveland.
That could become tedious in about 2 minutes, couldn't it? Yes, it could. Look at that meathead.
Your belly's slop.
Just that fat, illiterate goon. God almighty. Howard Stern butt boy.
There you go. Boston won 11-3. Big Mo Vaughn, 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Vaughn would have had 3 home runs, but his other hit did not go out of the ballpark. Therefore, he settled for 2. There'll be 3 games today.
A Metallica fan. God.
AC/DC.
Yeah, AC/DC and Stern.
Red Sox and Indians again at 1:07 Eastern Time. Rangers and Yankees again tonight at 8:07. And it's game 1 of the Cubs and the Braves. That series will start in Atlanta at 4:07. God. So that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
Come on, tell 3 people the Holy Ghost. Life for the Amen. You're gonna take them to the day you die.
It's all according to how your boogaloo situation stands, you understand?
Imus in the morning.
If you're a
commanding 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 divisional series with the Rangers beating Texas 3-1 last night. But despite 2 victories in 2 games, Scott Brocious issued this warning to his teammates.
Until the series is over, it's not over.
Yogi lives. And Scott Brocious, Andy Petite had the win for the Yankees. Series now shifts to Texas for Game 3 tomorrow night. Texas manager Johnny Oates gave his team this gung-ho, rah-rah motivational message.
Hopefully, it will get better at home.
Hopefully it'll get better at home. Way to fire them up, Johnny.
All right. Don't count on it.
Braves beat the Cubs. Red Sox lose to the Indians. That series tied at 1 apiece. But, of course, the big sports story in New York, consecutive birdies for the Ironman's partner in the Stephen A. Cox Challenge.
Well, why couldn't you do it out there? Why did you take a 7 as I did? Who plays golf once a year, 1 hole?
There's the 2 other holes I almost had a birdie as well.
When the pressure was on and the chips were down and the people were there, you couldn't get it done.
Fold it up.
You fold it up, but playing with the 3 of your white friends yesterday out at your cheesy little country club.
One of the friends is a huge fan of yours, Whitey Ford, the former Yankee great.
You played with Whitey Ford yesterday?
He was the eyewitness to this birdie extravaganza.
I want to talk to Mr. Ford about this. Let's get to the 8 minutes of the hour.
Imus in the morning.
You've heard about Priceline. That's a sort of convoluted, all over the place business report.
Yeah, but a fine one.
Yeah. Sponsored by our friends at the New York Stock Exchange, where today Hollywood Hogan and the wrestler Bill Goldberg, hopefully,
Excuse me.
will seriously and maybe even permanently injure Dick Grasso, who's the chairman of the exchange. One would hope that would happen, or at least get him in a headlock.
Oh, yeah. Leave the boy with a limp.
Yeah, or a lump. 16 after the hour.
Imus in the morning.
As the world leader in cardiovascular and neurological technology,
You
break in any athletic piece of equipment between now and October 13th, any old tennis racket, for example, or exercise bike, basketball, even gym shoes, and you'll receive $200 off any item that costs $1,095 or more. That's $200 off the already unbeatable prices at Omni, O-M-N-I Fitness, the region's leader in home exercise equipment and the only retailer of Life Fitness, makers of the Life Cycle. Save on the entire selection of treadmills, Stairmasters, home gyms. Get to Omni Fitness during the annual trade-in sale and save $200. It's going on now through October 13th at every Omni Fitness store. Omni Fitness, with its convenient New York, with 11 convenient New York metropolitan locations, Manhattan, Stamford, Norwalk, White Plains, are all over the place. Or you can call 1-800-899-OMNI. Have you ever heard the story of how the company Dial-A-Mattress got started? It proves that anything is possible in this country as long as you believe in your idea. About 30 years ago, a guy named Napoleon Berrigan moved to this country with his family, got a job selling furniture, a little furniture store in Queens, as a matter of fact. And one day he had an idea that he could sell mattresses on the phone. Everybody Berrigan, told this idea to, thought it was fairly stupid selling mattresses on the phone. Who would want to do that? But obviously a number of people did. It's now one of the largest telemarketing concerns in the country, doing about $100 million a year. They sell all of the big-time, big-name mattresses, Sealy Posturepedic, Simmons Beauty Rest, Serta Perfect Sleep for all of them. And they can have it over to the house in 2 hours. So, or you can actually see them if you want at Tops Appliance City, Dial-A-Mattress. So you should check that situation out.
This is today's AIM Mutual Funds Millennium Minute. It's October 3rd, 1998. 454 days until the year 2000. No baby boomer's adolescence was complete without observing the what me worry machinations of Alfred E. Newman, mascot of Mad Magazine. The irreverent monthly and its gap-toothed cover boy were the creation of cartoonist Harvey Kurtzman, born on this date in 1924. Kurtzman originally designed Mad as a strip cartoon. In 1955, he and publisher William Gaines issued Mad as a magazine, which soon became famous for its offbeat and satirical view of American culture. 43 years later, and Mad is still going strong, and still accepts no advertising. I'm Bob McNamara, CBS News.
This AIM Mutual Funds Millennium Minute was brought to you by AIM Distributors, part of the $260 billion InvestCap Group. Call your financial consultant for prospectuses. Read before investing. AIM. Invest with discipline.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Deardorff. Where would you go for a home equity loan? Let's ask. Well, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advanta National Bank is different. They lend money to people when they need it.
Right. With my credit?
They made their first loans 45 years ago to teachers who had trouble borrowing. They helped out when others wouldn't.
This is a bank, right?
With customers who get the flexibility only a national bank can offer, right over the phone.
Got to move all your accounts there.
Nope, just call Advanta at 1-800-580-4253. That's 1-800-580-4253. One of their loan specialists will show you how to use the equity in your home to pay off all of your bills. Get one low monthly payment and save hundreds of dollars a month, plus a tax deduction. You'll get fast approval over the phone and your money in about 10 days. Hey, they don't keep bankers' hours either. To get the loan you want, call Advanta at 1-800-580-4253. That's 1-800-580-4253.
It is 33 minutes past the hour, and we are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina, on Sports Radio 610 WFNZ. And we were going to talk with Scott Pelley from CBS News, but we can't locate him. So.
Uh-oh. The heck happened there?
Which means we should probably stick with people on NBC News, and we'd be better off, wouldn't we?
See?
But apparently Mr. Pelley, maybe being a White House correspondent, went out to celebrate last night with McCurry.
Oh, okay.
And perhaps is drunk or hungover, or maybe was arrested, or
sure. We just hope that he's all right.
Yeah. The talk for some time has been that Mr. Pelley has been drinking on the job.
Yeah, I know.
Which would explain some of his reports on the CBS Evening News.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know.
To this nice young man.
Senator Joe Lieberman, who probably will not be drunk, he's been on a number of times.
I would be shocked.
Probably 50 times, and he's never been drunk before, and there's no reason to believe he will be this time. And then Mike Wallace, who Well, he won't be drunk, but he does take something. He's on some sort of medication because he's been very public about this. He suffered from depression, and so
he and they had a support group, a little 3-person support group. He and William
Art
Starr.
Buchwald and William Starr,
Right.
and they all used to walk around and
on Martha's Vineyard, I guess, and
threatened to walk into the ocean.
to head for France.
But he's no longer depressed. He just takes something kind of just leveled him out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Sure. I don't know.
And then Chris Collingsworth. Remember him? You know what position he played? He played for the Cincinnati Bengals, I
What did he
believe.
play?
Well, no, I'm asking you.
No, I don't.
Does anybody here know?
Wide receiver.
Chris Collingsworth.
Wide receiver.
I meant. Well, sounds to me like you're guessing.
Well, he's tall and skinny, so yeah, he had to.
Well, he'll be on to talk about these football games, of which we have a casual interest.
Mm-hmm.
So we're pretty jacked up about the UAW GM 500 it's going to take. Has the pole position here been decided for the race on Sunday already? Who's on the pole? Who?
Derek Tote?
Polk.
I ain't never heard of that boy.
Well, he's been racing a while, but
yeah, not one of them.
Dale Earnhardt, didn't it? It was this year he won the Daytona 500, right? I just forget. So, how's he doing? He fell asleep once, didn't he, on that turn of the track?
Well, what's up with that? He dozed?
He nodded out or something?
Yeah. Well, you know.
So, I was talking to Bernard, and Bernard said, well, how hard is it to drive anybody who can drive a race car.
Yeah, right.
But if you I got to thinking about it last night. I mean, they're extraordinary athletes. I know it sounds, well, to some people it might sound ridiculous, but
it does.
Right. I mean, if you just go out and drive your Jeep 500 miles in a day and stop every 100 miles and get some Gatorade and beef jerky, you're worn out. You ever driven your car 500 miles?
Oh, yeah. In about an hour and a half.
No, but I mean,
You have to go tinkle a lot and everything? How do you do that?
Have you ever driven that's a lot to drive in one day.
It's ridiculous. It wears you out, of course.
So if you're driving 500 miles at 200 miles an hour, an inch from somebody else,
it's a problem. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
So it's a big deal.
A lot of left turns, too.
I'm a casual NASCAR fan. One of the things that I don't understand is why. Remember when Bill Elliott was winning all those races?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just seemed like he won every race for a while, and then suddenly he didn't win anything.
What happens?
I don't know.
They lose their edge.
And then Dale Earnhardt, remember what he's won a lot of races.
Earnhardt got to his car. Earnhardt's in the garage right now pulling spark plugs out of that goofy Jeff Gordon's vehicle.
And the thing I like about NASCAR fans is that they all have favorite drivers. Like, well, my favorite driver is Dale Earnhardt. My brother's favorite driver is Dale Jarrett, although I happen to like Dale Jarrett too. But is that they hate other drivers. Like a lot of people hate Jeff Gordon now, right? And that's just because he's winning.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
He's a nice young man, but he's winning a lot of races. So, but what I was sort of say, what I don't understand is, what is the difference? I mean, is it Dale, or is it Jeff Gordon is that much better of a driver, or does he have that much better of a crew, or do they set the car up better, or do they cheat?
Or a combination.
Or is it a combination of all of that?
Sure.
So we'll find out about that and stuff. Dale Jarrett's an interesting story because his dad, Ned Jarrett, was a big time. They call it stock car racing when he was racing, back with Richard Petty and Cale Yarborough and all those people. And then back in '96, I believe it was '96, all of a sudden Dale Jarrett went out and won 4 or 5 races that year. Last year he won 7 races. He started 32 races, and of those he either won or placed in the top 5 in 26 of them.
You're frightening me.
Why?
You know far too much about that.
Well, no, it's just I read a little bit about Dale Jarrett because he's going to be on today, and so that's kind of what the deal is.
And the sun's coming. No, it's not.
And it's fun. I mean, they're fun. They go around here and and people don't come to these races. It's fashionable for some of these liberal panty-wearing elitists to say that people come to car races to see the wrecks, and that's not true.
No.
The car races are fun,
I like that.
And they're exciting, and
of course they are.
So, And the Charlotte Motor Speedway is like a city.
Yeah.
And Larry just came over yesterday and bought 3 hats.
Yeah.
A NASCAR tie, which he's wearing this morning.
No, actually, this was given to me.
Oh, was?
A friend of mine back home, Jim, somebody.
What, did he write his name on it?
Got stock cars on it, see?
You didn't buy that here yesterday?
No, I didn't. No. I bought the hats, though.
Okay. So Larry bought 3 hats. He bought Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett. He thought Rusty Wallace was going to be on, but
Rusty would be here.
Rusty won't appear on any program unless you pay him.
Uh-oh.
And we don't pay people to appear on the program.
No.
In fact, in some cases, we charge them. That's the way that works.
In case of certain candidates.
So Larry wanted to get Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jarrett's autograph.
Yeah.
So you will be getting Dale Jarrett's, but you won't get Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, the hell with Earnhardt. I don't like him anyway.
Because he's going to be on the phone. So.
Oh, no, just kidding.
But I could sign it for you. You wouldn't know the difference.
No.
All right, 20 minutes now until the hour. A.J. Fort's going to try to get in an Indy car. Have you seen him lately?
Yes, I have.
He looks like Willard Scott.
He could be an umpire.
60 years old.
No, he's not.
Yeah. Are you? Oh, he'll probably be driving around. He'll probably be like those old people in Florida.
With those handicap plates.
Where you can barely see up over the windshield and driving along at 10 miles an hour.
He sees a hat.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
All right, here on the eye line is Jeff from Harrisburg. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, tell Brain to get his act together.
All right.
It's a NASCAR race, not an Indy race.
Oh, it's a NASCAR race that A.J. Fort's going to be in.
It's NASCAR instead of Indy.
Go brush your tooth, you goober.
Hey, Imus.
Why don't you, Bernard?
Buy some curtains for your trailer.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Well, the previews for Rob's show on Broadway, More to Love, a Big Fat Comedy, started last night. They had a dress rehearsal yesterday afternoon, and then the first preview was last night, and
Morning. The sports. Here's Warner. Walt.
live back in New York. Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. Talk about excitement. National League playoffs yesterday, both one-run games, both ending in the home team's last at bat. In Atlanta last night, the Braves down 1-0, tied the game on a one-out homer in the ninth by Javi Lopez, and then won it in the 10th on Larry Wayne Chipper Jones' one-out single. Here's Gary Cohen of ESPN Radio.
The pitch on the way. Line drive down the left field line. If it's fair, it'll be the ball game. A fair ball, and the Braves will win it. Around third comes Weiss with the winning run. Chipper Jones with an RBI single in the bottom of the 10th inning. And the Braves take a 2-0 series lead.
Earlier in the day, the Astros beat the Padres 5-4 on Billy Spire's single with one out in the ninth. After the Padres' Jim Leyritz had pinch hit a two-run homer in the top of the ninth to tie the game.
Wow.
Wow. As called by Charlie Steiner of ESPN Radio.
Here comes the 3-2 to Jim Leyritz from Billy Wagner. Fly ball down the right field line. It's deep, curving.
Come on, Charlie. What is it? Fair or foul?
It's a fair ball. It's a home run. Jim Leyritz down the right field line. It curved just inside the fair pole.
Of course it's a fair pole. It's a fair ball. American League doubleheader today. Indians and Red Sox in Fenway. Bob Lemon against Mel Parnell. Oh, no, it's Charles Nagy and Brett Saberhagen.
Well, whatever.
Sometimes that happens. And the Yankees in Texas. David Cone, 20-game winner. He will wear Darryl Strawberry's number 39 under his cap while he's pitching. He goes against 19-game winner Aaron Seeley. Say so long to Jimmy Leland.
So long!
Leland, whose Marlins went from world champions to the worst team in baseball, has gone. Leland's no dummy. He's not hanging around with that crummy club. He also receives a $500,000 buyout. Here's Leland.
Somebody rebuilding probably won't call. Somebody thinks maybe they got a chance to win right now, might call.
Call him up, I-Man. See if you can trick him. Bill Parcells has named Vinny Testaverde over Glenn Foley to start against the Dolphins. Parcells explained the difference.
That's just age. That's just experience. That's just the difference. That's just the difference between myself and Steve Mariucci, or myself and Jeff Fisher, or Warner Wolf and some of you guys.
Hey, come on, give me a break. Age discrimination. If you took Syracuse last night and gave 12 points, you lost. North Carolina State 38, Syracuse 17. Wolfpack quarterback, hey, Jamie Barnett threw for 282 yards, passed for 1 touchdown, and ran for 2. And finally, move over, President Clinton. Las Vegas Judge Gene Porter ruled last night that reports from Mike Tyson's 5-day series of psychological reports must be made public. Despite Tyson's attorney's attempts to keep the reports confidential, the judge said if Tyson wants to return to the ring in Las Vegas, then the test must be made public under the state open records law. This reminds me of the psychological test given to Jeffrey Dahmer. He took the test, and they put him in the post office. For Imus of the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
Jeffrey Dahmer is the guy that ate people, right, Warner?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Apparently like Monica Lewinsky.
No.
Here's the thing, Warner.
Yeah.
There were some people of the Jewish faith who were irritated with us, with me, for calling people on Yom Kippur, but I guess you weren't one of them, right?
No, as I explained, there's a 3 categories if you are Jewish.
Yeah.
Orthodox, conservative, and Reformed.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference, of course, between the Orthodox and the Reformed. The conservative is the middle, but Orthodox do Reformed do pick up the phone on Yom Kippur. They do drive to services, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But they won't pick up a check.
And then we were concerned. Oh, God. And so then we were concerned, Warner, that you're up there in Greenwich.
Right.
At the Howard Johnson's, which I didn't even know they had in Greenwich.
Oh, it's very nice.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, well, but I explained, you see, I went to services with my daughter Tuesday night, Yom Kippur. And
she wouldn't let you stay at the house.
And then I didn't want to drive back to New York.
Right.
Because we went Wednesday morning.
It's 35 miles to New York, by the way, Warner.
Well, I didn't want to drive. That's 70 miles round trip.
Did you get drunk at the service?
No.
Okay.
No, and we fast. We don't eat or drink. No.
They're not like the Catholics who have the bread and the wine deal. Or wafers or whatever the hell it is.
Well, we wait for Passover for that, you see.
Okay.
You know. But her house was filled, and they just moved in, so I made it easy for them.
Dad, get out.
But the funniest thing is when that phone rang, I thought it was you were the wake-up call. Because I left a wake-up call at 8:15, and the phone rang at 7:30. I'm thinking, what are these people doing?
Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, so thanks, Warner.
Thank you.
Warner Wolf in New York is 8 minutes now until the hour here on the Imus of the Morning program. Well, Warner could very easily be one of the best sportscasters in the country, isn't he? I mean,
without question.
He's always up and exciting, and he's got his act, and he does sports on CBS Channel 2 in New York, and he's great.
Yep.
So anyway, and we like him. That's why he's on with us.
Darn right.
And Breen asked me yesterday if he could have off because I wonder if I could tell this.
Oh, I don't think that this is a negative story necessarily. I mean, people go through these kinds of things all the time. Dealing with
Wants to get a nipple ring?
Yeah. So what's wrong with
Well, his daughter, who's an adorable little child.
Yep.
All of his kids are, but his daughter's been going to kindergarten for a couple of weeks. And all of us, in a sudden now, she doesn't want to go.
Mm-hmm. After having happily adjusted to kindergarten, apparently.
So he wanted to stay home and take her today, which I thought, man, that's a great dad.
Yep.
And, so that's where he is, and Warner's here. So basically the deal. Maybe Mike will phone in with his daughters or something. Okay. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where you people have got to have some energy here. I realize that. 'Cause I don't feel like we're all pleased to be here. So.
Yeah, not all on the same page.
But we are. But we're very happy. We're very happy with Sports Radio 610 WFNZ here in Charlotte. And I can't wait until the sun comes up so I can actually see where we are.
Right.
So. But coming up, Senator Joe Lieberman, and then Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes. Chris Collinsworth, former wide receiver for the Bengals. Now he's on the pregame show with Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long and JB, James Brown, on Fox Sports, and it's a fun show, and one of them's on every week to talk football. And then we're going to talk with Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jarrett. And the Cardinal will be on, and Fred Imus live from Santa Fe, so it could be a pretty good show. So, but the first hour, I just feel it's been slow.
We need more energy. Yeah.
And there's some ugliness here, and two of the people working for MSNBC or the engineers here are standing over having a conversation, which greatly annoyed me.
Yeah.
And
but let's not revisit that ugly moment.
Well, I'm constantly amazed at the idiocy of it.
That surrounds you?
Anyway, it's coming up on 5 minutes till the hour.
Former au pair Louise Woodward is back in England for the first time in nearly 2 years. Massachusetts Supreme Court upholding her manslaughter conviction in the death of 8-month-old Matthew Eapen, but letting stand the controversial decision to commute her sentence to time served. Woodward said she could not get a fair trial in America.
I was thrown in jail. The only way I could get my side across would be to give away my entire defense.
There's your new Spice Girl right there. Shaky Spice.
Shaky Spice, that's very good.
There you go. That'll sell tickets.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Oh, wait, Fred, I know you have to go feed the horses.
Go call them now.
What is your automotive tip of the day, your Speed Vision automotive tip of the day?
Well, it's a safety tip when you're driving your automobile.
All right.
When you're out with your date,
right,
keep the adjustable steering wheel pushed as far forward as you can. So your date would not bump her head.
I hear that.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Strike. A chance we're going to talk with Senator Joseph Lieberman coming up here in just a few minutes, live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mr. Lieberman's not here, but we are. So, but we have some technical advances that we've made here on the program, and we will be able to actually speak with him, even though he's not here.
I like to hear some funky Dixieland. Pretty mama, come and take me by the hand.
I want a hand, take me by the hand. Pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long.
I like to hear some funky Dixieland. Pretty mama, come and take me by the hand.
Imus in the morning.
As the world leader in cardiovascular and neurological technology,
Looking around thinking, hello.
Holding the microphone out and said, oh, that's all. Now you guys sing it. Not one person.
God.
Not a single soul. And he's running back and forth on the stage.
Doing that Mick Jagger thing, you know.
Away.
It's just...
jumping up and down.
And he's got this new song. He's got a new song out. It's just horrid. What is it called?
I don't know.
Live Your Life Now, or it's some inspirational. It sounds like something that Dr. Robert Schuller wrote. And then he's doing his hand thing.
Oh,
Jesus, God, I mean, you know.
People are looking around.
That's my grandfather. Cool.
I mean, God, really, it is. It's like your drunk uncle at a party getting up, and you know, you're just so embarrassed, you know.
And he takes off his coat and has his tight black T-shirt on, his little vest. I just go away, for God's sake. Good grief.
And he keeps rolling his sleeves up, you know, doing that thing.
Man.
Get out.
And Martina McBride is she's a cute girl, of course. But she's no Faith Hill, is she?
Oh, Jesus, she's got one speed, and it's hell for high.
She's just horrid. And on top of, to add insult to injury, she sang Delbert's two more bottles of wine. I know.
Well, at least she acquitted herself well.
And Emmylou Harris had you probably don't care about this, but Emmylou Harris had a hit with that. And she didn't sing it either, but at least Emmylou Harris can sing. So. God almighty. Now, how'd your kid do in kindergarten?
Very well, thank you.
Okay. That was very sweet of you. Did you actually go to kindergarten with her, or did you just
No,
take it?
no. Just to the bus.
Well, it was enough.
Put my little girl, my little princess on the bus.
So, but today you don't want to talk about it, or you?
No.
Okay. So it's 14 till the hour here on the Imus Morning program, and Warner was great on Friday, by the way.
What up?
Well, he was. I mean,
He was.
no, I listened to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen to the whole show.
Warner has some enthusiasm for the program.
Yes, he does.
And comes prepared each time.
Yeah.
So
Always up.
And Warner was up for the big Charlotte situation, you know.
Well, he has that little help when he first gets in the morning, so it works for him.
You know, we were down in the infield. We went down in the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Ken Squire came over to me wearing an Imus MSNBC hat.
I know.
Now, he had there was no way he had any, he must have been wearing it, period.
Had to be because
there was no way
there's no advance.
We weren't scheduled to go down in the infield.
Wasn't a suck-up deal.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a suck-up deal.
Just happened to be wearing the hat.
But I didn't know who he was, you know.
Yeah.
But I recognized him, but it was one of those deals that you don't know where.
Right.
So I thought maybe he owned the track or he owned the car, or he looked a little too old to be driving a car, but
yeah.
And then of course I watched the race, you know, felt obligated to watch part of it.
Did I?
And then I saw him, and he's a terrific sports announcer.
Yeah.
That's what he is. I guess he owns it. I don't know what the deal is. There's a lot of money involved in it. There may be you may think it's a bunch of goobers, but man, there's a lot of money. I mean, these guys are flying around their own iJets.
High tech, high roller. That's
how many? When we went over to we landed the iJet over there at that little airport wherever we landed. Man, usually when we go to these places, there's only one Gulfstream. That's ours. But man, they were lined up there, weren't they? I mean, there must have been 50 G4s there. All of them, you know, with all these various race cars. Oh man, that's something. Anyways, 12 minutes till the hour.
Yeah, I'm in the morning. In your shorts, 2020 Sports.
Ground ball to second base. Kilvio Veras has it. Throws to Joyner. It's over! And for the first time since 1984, the San Diego Padres are going to the National League Championship Series.
Padres climb that first hurdle. Good morning, Mike Greenwood Sports. Charlie Steiner, the call, ESPN. San Diego Padres eliminate the Astros 3-1 thanks to the 6-1 victory last night. Game was close until the 8th.
I'm very up today.
Why?
Well, I think if we could get a big star to call us every morning early to get the show started, that's a big deal.
Huge.
Pump up the eye, man.
What are you going to hope for today?
Well, we had Dwight today.
Just kidding.
Got it. And Sammy.
And Sammy. Exactly.
Well, Sammy's regional. I happen to like Sammy, so does a lot of other people, but that'd be very good, isn't it? If we could just,
Sammy!
Well, more people watch MSNBC than I'd like to admit, you know, which is, I mean, primarily we are concerned about the radio.
Sure.
So, but the 15 million people I talk to every morning, so. But, we've been dismissive of MSNBC, and we perhaps shouldn't be.
Reconsider?
Yeah, because Dwight, he could listen to us on the radio in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously he's not doing that. So,
well.
Anyway, Mike Breen was right in the middle of this sports thing, and I just rudely interrupted him. Go ahead.
Game was close until the 8th. Padres nursing a 2-1 lead, but Padre right fielder Al Roker legged out a double. They went on to score 4 more times and put it away. Now they'll head to Atlanta to face the mighty Braves.
That was Tony Gwynn, not Al Roker.
No, I think it was Roker. Padres manager Bruce Bochy raised some eyebrows when he said he doesn't care if they win a game in Atlanta.
It's just great being there.
Let's hope the players don't feel the same way. That series will start on Wednesday. They're now best-of-7 series. The Yankee-Indian series begins tomorrow night in the Bronx. NFL Week 5, surprise of the week, 49ers losing to the Buffalo Bills 26-21. Bills led 23-0 before the Niners put on a last-minute effort. First win of the season for Buffalo. First loss of the season for San Francisco. Quarterback Steve Young was not happy.
Nothing was happening. We couldn't get the first downs. Every time we got moving, there was an interception or fumble or penalty or holding or something.
But if you stop doing those commercials with Jerry Rice making goo-goo eyes, maybe throw some more complete passes. There's something going on there.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. Perhaps you don't care.
Well, no. I mean, do you care anything about Buffalo or San Francisco? Who cares?
Huge win for the Jets. Knocked the Dolphins from the ranks of undefeated. 20-9 beating at the Meadowlands. Dan Marino threw interceptions and completions, got sacked. Dan Rather is more mobile than Dan Marino right now. But despite the sweet win, Jets coach Bill Parcells was not all smiles.
We do some awfully dumb things. And some of these players that continue to do them are going to have to you know, they're going to have to either change their ways or I'm not going to be playing them anymore.
That's after a win.
My way or the highway, baby.
Remember now, they won 20-9. We want to see the 49ers play real teams. We don't have Buffalo. I mean, who?
Well, they lost. It's
I understand that, but I mean, we just didn't expect that to happen.
No,
did we?
no,
Not at all.
Jets are now 2-2 on the year. The game last night, one of the most incredible sights you'll ever see. Seahawks and Chiefs playing in monsoon-like conditions. 5 inches of rain fell in an hour. They had to suspend play for almost an hour because of lightning. Finally came back out on the field. Chiefs won the game 17-6.
You know, I'm glad you pointed that out. Because I turned it on around, it was like 10:20 Eastern time.
Right, this is after they'd resumed play.
And there was 6 minutes left in the second quarter. And I thought,
what?
Jesus, man, this is taking a long time to play this game. not aware, of course, that they had said, well, thank you.
You're quite welcome. That's what I'm here for.
There's one of those acid flashbacks or something. Maybe I got too many fumes down there at Charlotte or something.
Oh. Tonight, Vikings and Packers in Green Bay. Big matchup. Both teams undefeated.
Oh, that could be a good game.
Not as good as next week. How about the Redskins and Eagles in Philadelphia? Two teams 0-5 after both got whooped yesterday. Redskins got whooped by Dallas, and the Eagles got trounced by Denver. Something's got to give on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the NASCAR events of the weekend, the UAW GM 500, Mark Martin, the winner.
The UAW GM Quality
500. Excuse me. Ward Burton finished second. Jeff Gordon managed a fifth-place finish, and he still has the Winston Cup points lead.
How many points is he ahead of Mark Martin? I'll give you $100.
134.
174. Pretty good, though.
All right.
Well,
okay.
It's 50.
All right, 7.
It brings a tear into my eyes when I begin to realize I cried so much since you've been gone. I guess I'll drown in my own tears. Imus in the morning.
This is Dan Rivers.
Stock exchange. We're running a little late here, so Pete Hamill is going to be on, but it's going to be on. It's going to take a few more minutes before he gets on because Charles has to do a little news now, just so we have some idea what's going on. What is going on, Chuck?
Just